Education, one of the most important tools needs in today's society to build a strong generation for our dear young generation. Okay. Also, today we're going to discuss about Africa's best education system in 2024, and a new report have come for this year 2024. So I want us to see which African country actually have the best education system for its people, and also learn one or two things if our African country are also doing the right thing for our education system. Okay. My name is Vidashe Say, and this is African Time. Let's have some quick discussion about Africa. What do you think? Shall we? Let's go. Alright, so AfriStats and Post, a page on X, have shared this. They says top African countries with the best education system in 2024. They also says there are numerous rankings available for this topic. In this particular case, though the global education system ranking was used, according to B Scholarly, they says Seychelles is number 1 with the best education system in Africa. Number 2 is Tunisia. Number 3 is Mauritius. Number 4, South Africa. Number 5, Algeria. Number 6, Botswana. Number 7, Kenya. Number 8, Cape Verde. Number 9, Egypt. Number 10, Namibia. Number 11, Nigeria. Number 12, Ghana. Number 13, Zimbabwe. Number 14, Rwanda. Number 15, Malawi. Number 16, Equatorial Guinea. Then number 17, Gabon. Alright, so there you have it. Okay, these countries are said to be having the best education system in 2024 in Africa. Okay, so have you seen your country in this? Is your country in? Nah, your country was not in. Well, my country was in. You were in. Yeah, you were in. Okay, but your country was not in. Come on, why? Tell us why. Tell us why your country is not in. Okay, so they also stated their source. Their source was B Scholarly LLC. Is an international education and legal blog. Okay, so that is their source. Their source is B Scholarly. So that means they also took their main source from Global Education System Ranking Index. Alright, so that is how come they got to this page. Alright, that is how come they got this ranking. But I know you guys are asking this question: how do they know that these countries have the best education system? Blah blah blah. Yeah, I know that you also say the same thing, right? Yeah, I also wanted to know the same thing, because how is Nigeria bypassing Ghana? I'm a Ghanaian though. I actually have to say this. I also wanted to know the same thing too. Okay, let's continue with this vibe. Alright, so AfriStats and Post says additional details can be found on their page. So they share a link about countries with the best education system in Africa 2024, top 17 by byscholarly.com. So they shared a link to the page. But before we go to the link and see the reason why these African countries, or Seychelles was listed as the number 1 best education system in Africa, I need to also see this comment. So this one says, do you know anything about the specific factors that contributed to their high rankings? Well, that was a question this person asked, and AfroStat actually showed a link to it. Okay. All right, so let's check it out about their link. And it says, countries with the best education system in Africa 2024, top 17. Okay, so it says by Scholarly. Okay. All right, so let's press the link and see what is inside for B Scholarly, what they have for us about this Africa's best education system in Africa. So it says countries with the best education system in Africa 2024, top 17. So it says rankings of the top 17 countries with the best education system in Africa 2024. So it says Africa is a home to 54 countries, but which African country have the finest education system? Although the majority of African countries are regarded as developing, others are carving out a space for themselves in the terms of education. That's a very good beginning of writing though. I like it. Alright, so they also came in and says to identify the finest education system based on skills development, the World Education Forum consulted 140 countries, including 38 African countries. The report's criteria were the overall level of labor competency, as well as the amount and quality of schooling in each nation. So they also says digital literacy, interpersonal skills, and the capacity to think critically and creatively are all the factors considered. Alright, so this is former people who are actually asking what were the criteria they used for this. So let's go inside again. So they says the report's criteria were the overall level of labor competency. Alright, labor competency, that was where the overall report was based on. Right, so they did actually say about the quality of the education by the building of the schools, the uniforms, how the children sits in, the teachers' quality. No, that was not what they based on. They actually didn't base on how the school building looks, how your children are having their classes, what kind of transportation cars that way they would send them to school, how far the school was with the towns or people. That was not their criteria. Their criteria was actually based on labor competency. They also further explain saying that and the quality of schooling in each nation. Okay, that was also part of it though. I think that was part, the quality of the school in each nation. Okay, so I think the schools, how well the school is actually made, was also part. The school system, how the teachers were actually teaching, the classification of the teachers, the degrees they are holding. Those kind of things are actually important in this. They took it, but they were actually emphasizing on the labor competency. So it says they also explain it further, saying that digital illiteracy was part, interpersonal skills was also part, and the capacity to think critically and creatively are all factors considered. All right, so these are the reasons how they came about with this ranking. They are saying that Seychelles students or education system are based on how the students are going through the digital literacy. That it means their ICT or the computer learning is actually enhanced. Their interpersonal skills are also being taught. That is technical and vocational teachings and skills are also being developed. And also they say creativity and critical thinking too. Wow, I wonder how the Seychelles education system is by saying that. So as I said this, I also entered the Seychelles, the #1 sports country, on how the education system is actually being done. Because it says Seychelles is the only African country in the top 50 education system in the world. Wow, that's beautiful, Seychelles. It says ranking 43rd ahead of Ukraine, Hungary, Russia, and the United Arab Emirates. It is ranked 28th in the world for critical thinking in teaching and 34th for graduate skill sets. Wow, Seychelles. It says Seychelles is the first and only African country to have fully accomplished UNESCO's Education for All aim. All right, so that is how come Seychelles are #1 on the list. They are saying that globally they are on number 43rd on the global ranking, top 50 of world's best education system. They are all actually 43rd, and they are only African country on the top 50. Wow, Seychelles, you guys are not awesome. And it says that it is ranked 28th in the world for critical thinking and teaching, and also 34th for graduate skill sets. Okay, so Seychelles are actually there. They are actually improving, and they are also making huge quality education system for their peoples in their schools or their next generation. So I should say, if you're wondering about how they came about with this is how they came about with this. Okay, education quality was part, and also their labor competency, that is their skills, their creativity, their digital illiteracy, all those are part when they make these assumptions. Okay, so South Africa, you guys are #4, Ghana #12, Nigeria #11, and in that order. All right, so this one says hopefully it will improve. Yeah, we all hope for the same thing too. But let's Russia say I was here to share with you Africa best education system. We also got to know how Seychelles are actually doing, and they are also the only African country to be the top 50 of the world's best education system. Okay, they are on the 43rd. They are best in the world. Okay, no African countries in the top 50. So Seychelles, big shout out to you guys, and I love you guys a lot. Okay, hopefully other African countries can also learn from one or two from this. And also, if you wanted to know their criteria to it have been shared. Hopefully you watch the video to the last end to understand all these points that were raised. My name is Rashia. Say this was African time. Hope you enjoyed this. See you guys around.